Okay, so good evening, second years. Well, also good afternoon. Nakapabati ako ng good evening kasi gabing-gabi ko nito ginawa. But then, I hope to see you all again next week kasi maraming oras na yung nakuha sa atin. We had a holiday. We had certain days wherein we cannot really conduct any synchronous classes, no? So, sana makahabol tayo. We are still somewhat on track naman, yun nga lang hindi ko malaman kung saan ko isisingit ang ating oras para sa quiz, no? Okay, but anyways, abot pa naman, no? So we'll be discussing about codes, and it's not the codes or the variables that we know in programming. Yung simple lang, and I think that you have discussed this in your previous years, nung senior high kayo, no? For those who took STEM, or for those who had this lesson in their senior high school days. Okay? So, when we talk of codes, usually pinag-uusapan natin dyan ay ang binary code. Okay? So, kindly read this for me, please. Yan. So, when we talk of binary codes, we talk about two digits lang, 1 and 0. Okay? And I think you already have an idea of what 1 and 0 means. Okay? And ang computer instructions natin, ang computer hindi natin yan basta inuutusan na ito gawin mo, ito sagutan mo, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. These are very specific and we have to use bits, binary digits. Each character of instruction is made up of these single bits. Okay, so later on malalaman ninyo kung ano ba yung nangyayari or gaano kadaming numbers, gaano kadaming bits yung nagagamit for a single instruction or maybe for a single word. Okay? So yan, this was invented by Gottfried Leibniz in 1679 and was used by Emily Baudot in 1875 in ciphering system. Ay, syempre, they want to decode. Gusto nilang parang malaman kung ano yung message, no? Ay, para tayong may kausap ng tao sa ibang lengguwahe. Okay? Or meron tayong secret codes. Okay? So, in this case, ang computer meron niyang sariling lengguwahe. So, we need to know how to encode. So, meron tayong ngayong na-formulate na character encoding schemes. Okay? Ayan. Ayan. So, just like what I've mentioned, the 0 and 1 represents off and on. Yan din yung mga nakikita ninyo sa light switch. Dun sa mga light switch, meron kayong makakapado na parang bilog. Okay, in modern light switches, medyo iniba na ang design. Pero originally, ito yung nakikita natin, nakakapa natin bilog at saka isang straight line. It's actually 1 and 0, off and on. No? Yan. And also, it's the negative and the positive poles of magnetic media. Yan. So, for those who would be focusing on electronical engineering, you'd be able to understand kung para saan ang 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1 lang yan. Akala natin madali, no? Okay. Pero tayo, we have been used to using the base 10 number system. Kumbaga, sampuan. Diba? Because of what we have. Meron tayong 10 daliri. So, ang system of counting natin dati ay by tens. Okay? Pero itong si computer, dalawa lang daw ang kanyang daliri. No? It's either yes or no kay computer. Hindi pwedeng maybe. Okay? Hindi pwedeng in between. So, the only choice of the computer is yes or no. No? Yan. And another thing that we need to know about binary is binabasa siya from right to left. Yan, baka hindi pa tanda kung ano ang right to left. So, simula dito, papunta doon. No? Kabaliktaran ng paraan ng pagbabasa natin. Okay? We read from left to right eh. Ang binary, it's being read from right to left. Yan. So, sa akin naman, hindi sobrang halaga ng textbook definitions. But later on, as you use it, you should be able to define it yourself. Okay? So, yan. Dito muna tayo sa number systems. Meron tayong tinatawag na iba't ibang base or radix. Pagka base 2, dalawa lang ang numbers. 0, saka 1. Tinatawag siyang binary system. Pag naman base 8, meron tayong 8 numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And that is the octal system. Kaya nga 8. Octal. And base 10 is the decimal system. Okay? From the prefix deci. Okay? 10. And you also have base 16. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But since hindi na pwede ang double digits, we are using A, B, C, D, E, F. Para hindi nakakalito kung ang gamitin nyo man ay 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay? So again, instead of using these 2-digit numbers, we are using letters para hindi siya nakakalito. Okay? Bakit kaya may base 2, may base 8, meron pang base 16? Okay, later on you will know kung gaano kalaki or how much information is being stored sa ating binary system. At bakit kailangan nagkaroon tayo ng base 16 na kung tawagin natin ay hexadecimal system. I don't know if you have heard this word hexadecimal, pero isipin ninyong mabuti. Saan ko kaya nakita tong hexadecimal na to? Ayan. Right? So by the way, please don't forget to take notes, save screenshots, but of course, preferably magsulat kayo, no? So that you can answer the activities later on. Okay? Also, remember, don't forget to speed up or pause the video kung ano man ang kailangan ninyo or kung ano man yung learning pace ninyo. Okay? Ayan. So, activity 1 na tayo agad-agad. So, find applications or uses of the different number systems, binary, octal, decimal, hexadecimal. Give some examples and study how they are being used. Okay, so let nyo sa notebook kahit hindi nyo na-send sa akin. So, dito malalaman natin kung okay ba ang ways ninyo on researching. Pag nagsasearch tayo kay Google, you don't have to write all the words. The less words, the better. Okay? Yan. Pagka sobrang specific natin na itong buong to kinopy-paste ninyo, kokonti ang result. So, please look for the important words only. Yan. So, I'll be giving you a clue on what to search. Minsan, sinesearch ko lang binary applications. O kaya, binary use. Tapos, number systems use. Yan. So, ganun mag-search. Hindi natin kailangan i-search yung entire thing. Okay? So, kung ano mga lumabas, try to watch some videos, find more images, research about it. Kasi in this learning system, hindi puro sa amin ang gagaling ang information. Minsan mas nakaka-excite pagka tayo nagre-research, no? Tapos mapapaklik pa tayo na, uy, ano tong word na yun? Sige, click na natin. Ay, ano yun? Sige, search ko pa nga ulit. Yun. Okay? Ayan. So, we'll proceed with the next lesson, and that is how we convert among radices. Yan, meron tayong decimal to decimal, decimal to binary, decimal to octal, and decimal to hexadecimal. Okay, we won't be discussing decimal to decimal kasi halos yun lang din yun eh. No? Except that we divide it by 10 until the last quotient is 0. Okay? Binary, divide by 2. As you can see, saan natin siya dinidivide? Dinidivide lang natin siya by its base. Okay? Look, binary ay base 2. Yan o, pareho. Octal is base 8. Yan, didivide lang natin by 8. Hexadecimal ay base 16. So, i-divide lang natin sa 16. Para mas maintindihan natin, no? So, example na agad tayo. Yan. Oops. I won't be discussing decimal to decimal na. Simply, di-divide nyo lang siya. By, ulit lang kayo. No? So, dito na muna tayo sa decimal to binary. Okay? Ayan. So, naglagay na ako dito ng example. This is 84. Naka-base 10 siya or naka-decimal siya. Ngayon, ang sabi, we will continuously divide by 2 until the last quotient is 0. I-divide lang natin ng i-divide si 84 hanggang maging 0 na siya. Sige, try natin ha. 84 divided by 2. You can use your calculators if you have to. No? Okay. Maglalabas ako ng aking calcu. Ayan. So, para dun sa mga nalilito pa, mas maganda kung kaya nyo i-mental to eh. Pero kung hindi, edi don't. Okay. So, 84 divided by 2 is 42. Yan. Dito natin isusulat yung kanyang quotient. Okay. Dito yung sagot. Meron bang remainder ito? Wala. So, 0 remainder. Okay, stop na ba tayo dito? Actually, we won't stop here because ang sabi, yung quotient dapat ang maging 0. Yung last quotient ay maging 0. Ito dapat ang maging 0. Okay, so itong 42, yan. Itong 42, ang i-divide naman natin ngayon sa 2. Okay? So, once again, 42 divided by 2, you may use your calculators. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Again, walang remainder. So, i-divide pa natin ulit ngayon si 21. Okay. So, 21 divided by 2 is 10. Remainder, 1. Nung gagawin natin sa remainder, wala lang. Okay? Then, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Remainder, 0. 5, yan, medyo napaliit na. 5 divided by 2 is 2. Remainder 1. 2 divided by 2, naku, sorry. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Remainder 0. And 1 divided by 2, ako, bilang burahin ko. Dahil hindi kasya. Paliitin ko na yung iba. Yan. Paliitin ko lang para magkasya, no? Sige, stay put lang muna kayo dyan. So, 21 divided by 2 ay 10. Remainder 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Remainder 0. 5 divided by 2 ay 2. Remainder 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Walang remainder. And then 1 divided by 2 is 0. Remainder 1. So, kahit may remainder, okay lang yan. Ang mahalaga, 0 na yung dulo. Okay? So, we have these numbers now. We have 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay. Imagine, we would have to represent the number 84 using these much digits. Okay, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, bakit naging ganito? Right? So, sige, discuss ko na rin. Anong ibig sabihin? Ba't nagkaganto? Okay? 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. Remember that this is base 2. No? So, pag sinabi nating base 2, so 2 raised to something. So, 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 5, 2 raised to 6. This is just for checking. Okay? So, ano bang values ng mga to? So, we have 1, 2, 2 raised to 2 is 4, 8, 16, 32, You can use your calculator para dito, no? Okay. Ayan. So, ito yung mga values nila. Ang gagawin natin is i-check natin, i-add natin kung alin dyan yung meron. Okay? So, meron tayong 64. Bakit meron? Kasi 1 siya, oh. So, 64. Wala siyang 32. Meron siyang 16. So, plus 16. Walang 8. May 4. Kasi 1. Yun. And wala na. Okay, so let's try to add this one. 64 plus 16 plus 4. The answer is 84. Ayan. So, yun yung equivalent niya sa computer. Okay? So, imagine we have 101010 in order to get the number 84. Ayan. So, what if we are talking about millions? What if we are talking about letters or other things? So, gaano kahaba yan? Okay? So, that's why people came up with a larger system. So, decimal to octal naman. Okay? So, let's see. Sa octal naman, let's try to use 547. Sige. Yan. Same process, no? 547 continuously divided by 8. Okay? So, try nga natin, pakita natin yung mano-mano para tanda natin kung paano mag-divide manually. Okay? So, 547 divided by 8. Dito cannot be, no? So, 54 divided by 8. So, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. Wala na, 6 lang. Then we subtract. Natanda pa to, no? And then we are left with 67. Then 67 divided by 8 is 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. Okay, walo. So, subtract lang natin 3. Okay. So, the answer here is 68. 68 yung ating quotient. But we have a remainder of 3. Again, wala tayong pakialam sa remainder. No? Now, let's divide the 68 by 8. 68 divided by 8. So, alam naman natin, 8 times 8, 64. So, 8. May labis na 4. Okay? Sige, pakita ko pa rin yung process, no, for those who might need help. Okay? So, 68 divided by 8. Hindi kaya 6 divided by 8, no? So, 68 like that. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. So, 68 minus 64, 4. So, 8 remainder 4. Okay? Sige, next na tayo. Now, this time, i-divide naman natin to. 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Remainder, 0. Meron pang natira, hindi pa rin to 0 eh. So, 1 divided by 8 equals 0. Remainder, 1. So, ito yung ating sagot, no? So, paano natin siya isusulat? So, this is 1, 0, 4, 3. Ito lang yan. Ibababa lang natin yan. 1, 0, 4, 3. This is base 8. Now, other books write it like this. Okay? Sinusulat lang na maliit sa baba yung base. So, 1, 0, 4, 3, base 8. Okay? Yung kaninang pinakita ko, no, just for you to know how to check it. Okay? So, we have 10, 4, 3. And again, base 8 tayo. So 8 raised to 0, 8 raised to 1, 8 raised to 2, 8 raised to 3. Ano ba tong mga to? Again, you can use your calculators na. O gagamit ako ng calculator dito. This is 512. This is 64. This is 8. And this is 1. Yan. Tingnan lang natin, no? If how many times we'll be having this. So, meron tayong isang 512 daw. Plus, meron tayong 4 na 8. So, pwede nyo i-multiply na lang 4 times 8. Tapos, meron tayong 3 1. Wala tayo nito. Okay? So, again, you may use your calculators para mas madali. Yan. So, 512 plus 4 times 8 plus 3 plus 1. Ayan. Okay? So, we should be able to get the answer. Okay? That it would be resulting to, teka, parang may mali ako ah. Ayan nga. Let me trace kung saan ako nagkamali. May mali dito. Ah. Ay, sorry. Mali ang na-type ko sa calculator. Tama pala ang sagot ko. No? Nagkamali lang ako ng type sa calci. Ayun. Okay. So, tama. 547 ang naging result niya. Okay? Ayan. So, ito naman yung habol nating answer. And this is just for checking. Okay? Ayan. Decimal to hexadecimal this time. I-divide lang natin ang i-divide sa 16 until we get it. Okay? Ayan. So, let's try to use 1, 5, 3, 2. And 1532 divided by 16. Okay? So we'll be writing the quotient and the remainder. Okay? So 1532 divided by 16. Calculate na natin. 1532 divided by 16 ay 95. Okay? 95.75. So, ano itong 0.75 na to, no? Paano yung 95.75 ang lumabas? So, simply, kung ano yung decimal na lumabas, okay? Pag kinalculate nyo to, 95.75 ang lalabas. Ang gawin niyo itong 0.75, i-multiply nyo sa 16 to get the remainder. So, ang remainder natin ay 12. Okay? Ayan. Tapos, ibababa natin to. 95 divided by 16. Calculate ulit natin. So, ang sagot ay 5.9375. Another decimal. Okay? Our quotient is 5, pero ano ang remainder? Again, ang gagawin lang natin, itong decimal na to, i-multiply natin sa 16 para makuha ang kanyang remainder. So, dito ay 15. Next, 5 divided by 16. Pwede ba? Hindi, no? So, 0 na siya. Remainder, 5. Okay? So, the answer here should be 5, 15, and 12. Okay? But remember, may other equivalent tong numbers na to. Okay? Hindi pwedeng double digit. Okay? So, anong equivalent ng 15 sa hexadecimal? Sige, sulat nga natin. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, This is the 16th one. Okay. So we have F and we have 12C. So ito ang final answer. Okay, itong correct conversion into hexadecimal. Gagamit tayo ng letter. Okay? Ayan. So this is how we convert among radices. Okay? So yun lang for conversion of radices. Ayan. So ito yung ating gagawin. Activity 2. So simply convert the following number system. So lahat ng ito ay decimal. Okay? Lahat ng yan ay decimal. But I won't be discussing the answers now. So I want to know if you did your activity, if you'll be doing this homework for this Thursday, and we'll be checking this on Tuesday. Google Meet na tayo or synchronous na tayo. No? Okay. Remember, dito pwedeng magtulungan, by the way. Just make sure kung magkopyahan man, nakaintindihan kung paano nangyari yan. Because this is just an activity. Alright, so we'll continue our conversion among radices. If you think you need a mental break, kung kailangan nyo ipahinga ang brain cells ninyo, okay lang. I-pause nyo itong video na to, balikan nyo na lang mamaya. But if you can manage it, di tuloy-tuloy natin to. Okay? Yan. So siguro dito I'll be showing some examples. Ayan. So 1, 2, 3, 4 base 10 to decimal. Okay. So actually, ito yung ginawa ko kanina. Right? Ito yung numbers natin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tapos, ang decimal ay base 10, di ba? So 10 raised to 0, 10 raised to 1, 10 raised to 2, 10 raised to 3. Ano bang equivalent nitong mga to? Diba? So ito, 1,110 and 1. Anong gagawin natin dito? Ipag-multiply sila. Okay? Pag pinag-multiply natin sila, magiging 1,230 and 4. What we will do is we will be adding them. So 1,234. Bakit parehas? Remember, base 10 is also the same as decimal. So, dito sa example na to, medyo hindi makikita yung difference. Okay? So, let's try a different example. Yan. Medyo mahaba-haba ito, no? 1,0,0,0,1,0,0,0,1,1 base 2 to decimal. Okay? So, again, we'll be writing the original number. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Ba't ba ang laki ng number na pinili ko? 1, 1 to decimal. So, since we want it to decimal, ang gagawin natin, since decimal ang gusto natin, kailangan, kunin natin siya sa base 2. Yan. Okay? So, what we'll be doing is, i-multiply natin ito by its digit values. Yung mga 2 raised to 0, yan, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2. Sana familiar na kayo dito sa ating mga, tawag dito, power of 2, power of 8, power of 10. Ay, kagaya ng sabi ko sa inyo, pabaliktad siya, diba? From right to left. 2 raised to 8, 2 raised to 9. Ano bang equivalent ng 2 raised to 9? Teka lang. Okay? Or kayo, if you want to use CalQ, okay lang. But me, I personally want to do it mentally. So, start ako dito para madali. 2 raised to 0 ay 1. 2 raised to 2. 2 raised to 2, 4, 8. As you can see, may pattern naman. Multiply mo lang siya by 2. 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. Yun. Hindi pa naman pala sobrang laki, hindi kagaya kanina. Okay? And then, sabi ko kanina, anong gagawin natin? i-multiply natin ito. As for this, no need. 0 naman siya eh. Okay? No need. Kasi 0 naman eh. Wala namang kalalabasan yan. So, ang i-multiply na lang natin ay yung may mga 1. Okay? Ang mga kailangan natin i-multiply is 512 times 1. Automatic na naman yan. Plus 1 times 32 plus 1 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Yan. Sige, calculator. Or again, do it mentally. But I think the answer here is 2 plus 2, 4, 6, 7, 4, 5. Ito pala yung tanong kanina. Okay? Ayan. So, this is the 5 example or activity 1 niyo pala, no? Ayan. So, 547 siya sa decimal. So, imagine, 547, pag ginawa mo sa binary, ganito kahaba. Okay, let's try another one. So, 1043 base 8 to decimal. So, ang gagawin natin, isusulat natin 1043. Then, base 8. So, 8 raised to 0, 8 raised to 1, 8 raised to 2, 8 raised to 3. Alamin niyo na kung ano yung mga 8 raised to 3. Actually, this is one of our examples earlier, no? 1, 8, 64. 64 times 8. This is also 512, ano? Okay. Anong gagawin natin dito? We will multiply. So, this is 512 times 1 plus, so wala, kasi times 0 naman eh. 4 times 8 plus 3 times 1. Yung tanong kanina, no? The answer here is also 547. So, if you were able to see na yung mga sagot ninyo ay tumatama dito, kapareho nito, edi for sure your answers are correct. Sana. Hopefully, no? Okay, so let's double check. Yes, it's 547. Right? And, ayan, ako, nagkaroon ng decimal. Okay, paano pagka nagkaroon ng decimal? Sige, tingnan natin, no? Sulat muna natin. 2, 3, 4.14. Wait, i-rewrite ko to. Yan, 2, 3, 4.14. So, base 8 siya. So, multiply ko muna dito. Okay, dito muna sa units natin. Okay, 8 raised to 0, 8 raised to 1, 8 raised to 2. Ngayon, saan ko i-multiply ang mga to? So, as you can notice, no, 2, 1, 0. Pababa siya ng pababa. So, this one should be 8 raised to negative 1. Tapos, yung kasunod, 8 raised to negative 2. Are you familiar in using a negative exponent? Okay. Ang equivalent ng ating negative exponent, di ba? Pagka ang exponent merong negative, kukunin natin yung kabaliktaran, yung kanyang reciprocal. So, this would be, instead of multiply, ang mangyayari sa kanya ay division. Maging 1 over 8 raised to 1. Saka maging 1 over 8 raised to 2. Ayan. Remember, if negative exponent, sana alam to, no? If negative exponent, anong gagawin? We will be getting the reciprocal. Ayan. Right. So, I guess we can do this one na. So, 8 raised to 2 is 64. 8 raised to 1 ay 8. 8 raised to 0 ay 1. And then 1 over 8 raised to 1 is 1 over 8. Or divided by 8 instead na multiply. Ito ay 1 over 64. Ayan, sige, let's try this one. So, 2 times 64. Calculate mo ang kailangan na ulit, no? Okay, so this is 128. 3 times 8. 3 times 8, 24. Plus 4 times 1, 4. Paano to? So, pwedeng 1 times 1 over 8. Or simply, para mas madali, no? 1 divided by 8. What is 1 divided by 8? Ayan. I think 0.125. And then, dito naman, ganun din, 4 divided by 64. What is 4 divided by 64? Double check ko nga. 0.0625. Ang gagawin lang natin is i-add natin ang mga ito. Okay? 4 plus 24 plus 150. Okay. So, please double check your answers kahit naka-calculator kayo. If you make a single mistake, nagkamali kayo ng pindot, most likely magkakamali na kayo ng sagot. So, don't hesitate to double check your answers or ulitin nyo. Ay, sayang naman kung magkamali kayo, no? Nang hinayang lang, tinamad lang kayo, pero, ay, nagkamali lang pala akong isang letter or isang number. Okay. So, you are able to convert this kahit decimal siya. Yan. Kahit meron siyang 10th and 100th unit. 10th and 100th place. Yan. Right? Sige, meron pa. 223 base 16 to decimal. So again, kagaya ng ginagawa natin kanina, we will just have to write this down. 2, 2, 3. And then, base 16, 16 raised to 0, 16 raised to 1, 16 raised to 2. Now, if you know these already, no need to write them actually. Ano ba ang 16 times 16? 256. Then this is 16, this is 1. Again, we'll just be multiplying. 2 times 256. Answer is 512. Plus 2 times 16. 32. Plus 3 times 1. The answer here is 3. Ang kapareho na naman ito yung ginawa natin kanina, no? The answer is still 547. Okay? Ayan. So, we still have a few more slides to go. So, again, take a rest kung kailangan. Ako yung may kailangan ng rest kasi ilang minutes pa lang, but then napapaos na ako. No? Mahirap pala pagka ako lang yung nainip. Yan. Sige. So, this is your activity 2. Then siya, medyo marami-rami tayong gagawin. Sige, ganito, no? Some of you might be using or might consider searching for an online converter. Ay, hanap kayo ng binary to decimal converter online. Kaya base 8 to base 16 converter online. I think hindi ko na kayo mapipigilan on doing so. But then, ganito, isolve nyo siya. And then use those online converters to check kung tama yung ginawa ninyo. Pagkamali or iba yung lumabas dun sa online converter, that means something might be wrong with your solution. So, ready nyo yung solution. Kumbaga, makukuha nyo na yung answer key. Ang tanong paano nyo palalabasin yung sagot? Okay? It's up to you to understand how it works. Okay? So, I'm allowing you to have teamwork. And I'm allowing you to consult online converters. Yun lang, you have to understand bakit naging ganun yung sagot. Okay? And I think this is activity 3 already. So, sorry na mali yung numbering, no? Yan. still, ayun pa rin naman yan. Okay? And konti na lang po ito patapos na yata. Ito. Okay? Anyways, let's go to binary number names and prefixes. You have seen these words probably, no? Iniisip natin na wala lang naman tong mga to. No. Because before, ang gamit lang natin is actually 1 bit. Okay? Parang this is the most basic unit na ginagamit natin for computers. 1 bit. And then, pag malaki, we need a nibble. 8 of these would make a byte. 16 would make a word. 32 is a double word. And 64 is a quad word. Yan. So, pagka 0 lang, or pagka 1 lang, that's a bit. Okay, pero pagka halimbawa, mahaba na. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. This is considered a word already. Yan. Okay, imagine if it was longer. So that is called a quad word. Para saan to? Okay, so in computers, you don't really see the large things anymore. Computers, hindi na siya yung room dati. Okay? Kasi it uses a lot of chips, a lot of processors. But now, micro na siya. Microcontrollers, microprocessor systems. Okay? And they use this binary digit, or in short, bit. From binary digit. Bit. Grouped together into 8 to form a single byte. Yan yung nakikita nating sizes ng files natin, di ba? 1 byte. And it's contained, yan yung pang storage natin. And sometimes the size are in megabytes or in gigabytes. Again, ilang bytes meron sa megabyte? Ilang bytes meron sa gigabyte? Diba? Yan. So, tingnan natin. So, these are the number of bytes. Hindi bit ha, byte. Ilang waluhan meron dito. Sa isang kilobyte, we have 1,024 bytes. Sa megabyte, we have 1 million bytes. Gigabyte, we have a billion. And for tera, we have a trillion. And there's actually even more. No? Parami ng parami. Especially for those heavy, yung sobrang heavy talaga ng storage nila. Yung mga server computers, okay? Yung hindi binebenta for personal use. Okay? Yung mga server ni Google, mga server ni Yahoo, server ni Facebook, yung sobrang lalaki, sobrang daming information stored. Okay? They use so much more. Hindi lang trillion. Okay? So, ganun kadami. Now, our activity is simple. You just have to watch this video below. I'll be posting the link to the description box so that you can access it. Simple lang yung tanong. How much can you store in 1 kilobyte? In 1 MB, in 1 gigabyte, in 1 terabyte? Kasya ba sa 1 kilobyte ang isang picture? O isang letter lang ba yan? Kasya bang isang movie dyan? Yan. So, mas maganda kung sagutin nyo muna to, hulaan nyo muna, saka nyo panoorin yung video. Okay? Yan. So, actually, from that video, medyo mabibigay na agad yun sa tabi. So, still watch it intently. Ay, maganda yung content niya. Very simple, very easy to follow. Okay? Last na, yata. Last na to, promise. Okay. Sa binary addition and binary subtraction. Ayan. Sa binary addition, hindi naman siya sobrang hirap, no? But we might be a little confused dun sa mga carry over kasi sanay tayo sa carry 1. Kasi 10 yun di ba? Pero dito, medyo iba. So, please bear with me. Limutan nyo muna yung basic addition natin using base 10. Okay? So, 0 plus 0, madali naman, it's automatically 0. Okay, madali lang. What about 0 plus 1? Simply 0 plus 1 ay 1. Dali. Okay? Hihirap daw ba ito? Tingnan natin. Ang 1 plus 1, Alam naman natin, it's 2. Diba? 1 plus 1 equals 2. But in binary, we don't have the number 2. Diba? So, let's try to, one way is to convert 2 into binary. Okay? Tanda pa kung paano mag-convert into binary. Simply, you just have to divide it continuously by 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Remainder, 0. 1 divided by 2 is 0. Remainder, 1. Ibababa lang natin ito. The answer is 1, 0. So, tandaan natin, ang ating 1 plus 1 ay 0, 1. Okay? Pareho lang yan. Okay, so let's try it in another way. Okay, erase ko muna ito, no? Mababalikan nyo naman if ever you need this. Okay, another concept yung pagkicarry over natin is, again, hindi pwede ang 2. Okay, kumbaga lampas na yung 2. So, 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1. Wala na namang laman yan. So, yeah. Bring down 1. Let's try another example siguro. Yan, tatlong 1. Okay? 1 plus 1, 0. Actually, 1 plus 1 is 1, 0, no? Okay? Plus 1. Bring down 1. And then, yan. Drag lang natin yung pababa. Ito ang sagot. Or if you want to do it decimal way, yan, 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. And then, ang pwede nyo gawin is convert 3 into binary. 3 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 1. And then, 1 divided by 2 is 0, remainder 1. Kaya, ang sagot natin ay 1, 1. Ayan, sana klaro itong ating binary addition. Okay? Ang results dapat natin ay in binary. So, hindi pwedeng 3 ang sagot, hindi pwedeng 2 ang sagot. Ayan. So, let's try more examples for binary addition. Okay? Tingnan natin kung medyo na-gets niyo o kung hindi. So, i-align lang natin sila. 1, 0, 1, 0 plus 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay? So, just like the typical or the normal addition, start tayo dito. So, 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0, 0. 1 plus 1 ay 0, carry 1. Okay? Kumbaga, puno na. Okay, so, this is how we do it. Okay? Ang bilis lang naman to. And then, we have 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay? So, add natin. So, we have 1, 1. 1 plus 1 ay 2. Or 1 plus 1 is 0, carry 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. Then 1. 1 plus 1 ay 0, carry 1. So, this should be your answer. Okay? So, sana kaya na tong gawin independently. So, doon naman tayo sa subtraction. Okay, let's try. So, what is 1, 0 minus 1? For us to understand the process, i-convert lang muna natin ulit ito sa decimal. Okay? Convert muna natin ito sa binary. Okay? So, if we want to convert it to binary, we have to multiply it by 2. Ay, sorry. 2 raised to 1 is 2. 2 raised to 0 is 1. I-multiply lang natin 2 plus 0. So, the answer here is 2. So, ang value nito is actually 2. So, 2 minus 1 is 1. ang sagot natin. Okay? But let's erase this for now. Let's try to answer it the other way. Okay, so parang magbaborrow tayo, no? Okay, so baborrow muna natin to. Instead na maging 0, this would become 2. Okay? So 2 minus 1 is simply 1. Let's try another example. Okay? Ayan. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 cannot be. So borrow this, magiging 2 yan. Parang ginagawa natin pagka nagbaborrow tayo, nagiging 10 yun, di ba? Okay. So 2 minus 1 is 1. That's it for subtraction actually. Okay? Siguro try natin i-subtract yung mga ginawa natin kanina. And so we have, i-screenshot ko lang ito para may copy ako. Let's try to have a subtraction here. Yung example natin kanina. So 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Just make sure na aligned siya, no? Minus 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, let's check. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 1 cannot be. Hihiram tayo dito. So, magiging dalawa. So, hindi wala. So, this would be 1, 0, 0, cannot be. Borrow muna natin. So, this would be 1. Okay? So, if you would notice, if you would look at your notes, tama naman yung result niya. Okay? So, this might need a bit more practice for those who need help. So, actually, madaming examples sa YouTube eh. I don't need to provide a link because they're actually all over the place, all over YouTube. So, search nyo lang how to do binary subtraction, how to do binary addition. And there would be a lot of resources. Okay? So, dito naman tayo sa activity 4. Perform the binary addition or subtraction. Okay? So this ends our lesson on code. Okay, that's totally it for the lesson codes. And then next meeting, we'll try to answer the activities. And kung may time pa tayo, we will try to review your lesson on logic. Okay, but this time we'll be using logic gate. Ay mga symbol na. Okay. Yun lang. So, good luck and thank you so much for your cooperation. Let me just add that we want you guys to be totally aware of what's happening in the school right now. Meron tayong accreditation and I think you've heard it from other teachers, no? So, before I let you go, sana pakinggan nyo to. I've mentioned this in the reorientation video last week. Okay? So, please be familiar with our philosophy, vision, mission, and goals. Maganda sana kung aware tayo sa ating PLSP hymn. Yan. Instead na dalubhasan, it's already changed to pamantasan ng lunsod ng San Pablo. Yan. Yun lang naman yung nabago sa lyrics. Okay? The rest remained except for the word pamantasan and PLSP. Yun lang. So, let's be aware of that. And please do practice attending class on time. Sana maka-excuse muna sa trabaho para kompleto tayo. And at the same time, please do make it a habit na on-cam na muna tayo for this entire May. And I'm not asking you, unless merong discipline or policy na kailangan magpagupit, kailangan magpakutay. Okay? So, while there's still no official announcement, I guess you can keep that. But let's keep it neat. Hindi yung sabog-sabog na akala mo a-attend ng party, no? Yung nice, decente pa rin tingnan, no? Yeah. So, yun lang. Thank you so much and good luck in this lesson second year. Okay. See you!